Dexter, this conference that you moderated here today in Los Angeles, what is the concern among Zionistic Christians for what's going on?
I think one of the things that we've started to see when it began in about 2010 was that anti-Israel activism became much more organized and much more effective in basically convincing young evangelical Protestants from the millennial generation to basically embrace an anti-Zionist narrative. And essentially what we're trying to do is to figure out a way to raise a hue and a cry in the evangelical community to say, look, anti-Zionist activism in the evangelical community is a reality, and they're going to have to figure out a way to counter it. Because it's going to damage, not only is it going to damage evangelical and Jewish relations and Israel, but it's going to also damage the evangelical community itself. Because one of the things that we've learned is that anti-Zionism basically is a very damaging ideology for Christian churches.
Is there an argument, aside from the religious mandate to love Israel on the part of evangelicals, that a secular audience would appreciate?
I think that's the key issue, and I think what we're trying to do is to remind people that Israel is not the problem in the Middle East, but it's the model. Israel is the one country in the region where the indigenous population of Christians is growing. Populations of Christians and other ethnic minorities are being destroyed in Muslim-majority countries throughout the region, and they are safe in Israel. And that's the one message that I think we want to get out to evangelicals throughout the country, particularly millennial or young evangelicals.
How organized is the opposition?
The Palestinian Christian opposition that's located mostly in Bethlehem is very, very effective, and they're very well organized. And they have a very strong set of allies here in the United States that have been willing to help broadcast their narrative. And one of the things they say is look, American and evangelical support for Israel makes it hard for us to broadcast or share the faith in the Muslim-majority Middle East because we're aligned with Israel, Muslims won't convert to Christianity. But that basically ignores the lack of religious freedom in Muslim-majority countries. And another thing is that evangelicals are some of the strongest supporters for persecuted Christians throughout the world, and it's been like that for a long time. Even during the communist era, they were the ones who spoke up on the behalf of persecuted Christians. If we can remind people or demonstrate or convince people that, look, it's the Muslim-majority countries where the persecution of Christians is a problem, and in Israel, it's not a problem.